All right, Dave, do me a favor before you go live. Click the. Okay. Wait, I think I. Wait. Yeah, I'm still here. I can hear me. I can hear me on your stream. I can't hear you though. Can you hear me? I didn't need to. I can hear myself. I verified that I can hear me. I can't hear you though. If I can't, they can't. Click the cogwheel in mic/aux in OBS. Go to properties.
Yep.
Is that
No, wait.
your mic?
Hold on. How about now, party people? Can you hear me now? How about now, party people? Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise.
You're good.
Dude, I swear technology sometimes. What the hell? Anyway, you guys missed my whole monologue. I was all excited talking about the party. I didn't want to turn the music off. You guys were bumping in there. Yes, apparently too much buttery Chardonnay. I got to tell you, I don't know what's going on. All this tech stuff is driving me crazy. Anyway, what's up, party people of the SFL? I wanted to tell you that we have some amazing games for you this weekend. That's what I was trying to say. Thank God I didn't get too far into it before Wink hooked me up and said stop talking. All right, like I've never heard that before. Anyway, let me get started. All right. Saturday, Atlanta at Chicago, rematch of last year's playoff game. That's a great way to start the weekend. Vancouver at Baltimore, that could possibly be the game of the week again with Baltimore playing so well and Vancouver playing well. That might possibly be the game of the week. Also on Saturday, Mexico City riding that victory over Louisiana, going into Houston. I know Houston took a loss last week, but they play very well at home. Carolina at Jacksonville, that's just I don't even know how to call that game. I think that's going to be a really close game. Queen City at St. Louis, see if St. Louis can defend home field again. Louisiana going to Portland. Does Louisiana bounce back, or is Portland actually going to get their first W? Then we've got the crowd play game of the week, Las Vegas at Tulsa. Tulsa, I mean, 1-3. We've talked about on this show a lot. It's pretty much the Gabriel Manning show, do or die there. Charleston and Arizona. Arizona, I would say, is one of the top 2 or 3 hottest teams in the SFL right now. Charleston, another loss last week, but we talked about their brutal schedule. London at Denver. I think that might be the easiest game to pick this week. I don't see London going on the road and beating Denver in Denver. Florida at Lone Star, and we'll talk later. That's the closest who you got this week so far. Lone Star plays really well at home. Florida got their first victory. We'll see how that works out on Monday Night Football. And then to wrap up the weekend, Sioux Falls back on track at Fort Worth. Fort Worth 1-3. They were looking good. Took a couple losses. We'll see how they go. All right, now I'm going to go to the chat, see who's in the house. Can you guys hear me okay? Gosh, I hope so now that I just went through all of that. Let's see. Who is here? I'm going to scroll back up. Mike the Machine, I think. Is that Mike? Did we decide that's Mike All? I don't even know. There's so many Mikes in this league. Art Vandelay, Doug Britton, Bo Martin Jr. What's up? Benji, good to see you, bro. Eagle, of course, you better be in there. Berto, Frank, yep. Chris Lee, I got some good news for you in a few minutes, buddy. Charles and his buttery Chardonnays in the house. Good to see you too, bro. Rosca, what's up, bro? My favorite goalie in the world. Let's see. Twin Screw, glad to see you, bro. Clay Jones, hey, back-to-back shows, Clay Jones. What's up? My quarterback, Ace Phoenix in the house. I saw Lisa in there. Lisa, love you. Thanks for tuning in. Tom, of course, you're in there. Juicy, Dynasty, EJ, what's up, bro? The Rapid Raccoon, always here, like clockwork. AJ, good to see you. Eddie Gage. Oh, look at those Arizona peeps back to back. Oh, Monica Naka, what's up? Man, we got a lot of people in the house tonight. Glad to see everybody. Hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm trying to see. Coach, I just saw you pop in. John Bond, good to see you, bro. Mr. Andrews, I don't know who you are, but welcome. And Bob Funk is in the house. So good to see everybody. Before we get started, tonight. Let's go over a couple quick things. Number one, if you notice, I was surprised that nobody noticed last on Tuesday. I'm sorry. We took the scrolling out along the bottom. We did a little kind of a test on Tuesday. Nobody said anything. Nobody seemed to miss it. And on top of that, there were more comments on the actual graphics and the stats. So I'm starting to wonder if the scrolling was maybe a distraction or nobody was paying attention to it or whatever. So we're going without that again tonight to see how that goes. Second and most important, I will remind you guys of this again in a minute. And Charles, I almost always wear a hat and sunglasses. You know that. When you look at each of the game graphics tonight, we want you to notice that we switch things up a little bit. Instead of giving their overall stats for the season so far, we are going to show the home team stats when they're at home and the away team stats when they're away, so we can actually compare to see how this away team plays on the road and how this home team defends home field. So that's a nice new little thing. Special thanks to my producer Fonzie for putting that together. And I'm also taking the over on Doyle actually loving that, because I'm sure he'll be on the After Dark portion talking about the home field advantage and home versus away records. So, all right, let's get this party started now that we finally got our act together. Oh, I'm sorry, before that, Chris Lee, congratulations, bro. We didn't do Access After Dark, so I didn't do a drawing for the giveaways. But every night I go back, I listen to the show, I read all the comments, and bro, you were funny. You just had a lot of funny comments. When I was introducing my Diva of the Week, Chris Curtis, I was saying the one, the only, the logo, and Gunny's vibration alert went off on his phone, and you're like, the one and the only cell phone vibration. And then there was a couple other things there, too, that were just really funny. So congrats, Chris Lee, SFL 88. You're the giveaway winner from Tuesday night. All right, let's get this thing started. Introduction time. You know, we got the guys that are always here to hook me up from Sim Scouts Inc. First, we got Chad Rowland. Chad, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Nothing. I just I feel like I've talked twice as much as I need to right now all of a sudden.
I know.
I know. That sucks. Frank, what's going on? Frank, the franchise Wade, is in the house also.
Good evening, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Always, bro. Thomas Smith from the glorious Lone Star Glory and from Sim Scouts Inc. Thomas, what's up?
Hey, Dave. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. And then our special guest this evening is Nelson Lazono, general manager of Portland, and he's also the host of Inside the League podcast that we'll talk about later as well. It looks like he's releasing those on Friday, so if you haven't heard yet, or even if you have, I guess tomorrow will be a new release, so every Friday, and apparently yours truly, Dave Axis, will be on next Friday. A week from tomorrow, I will be on Inside the League, so if you guys want to listen to that, and then you can give me your comments in the chat on our show on Tuesday about it, and I'll probably give you guys a bunch of shout-outs if you're nice to me. All right, let's see what we got here. So, Thomas, you're going to kick this weekend off just like Atlanta and Chicago. We're going to kick this weekend off. Jack's data has Chicago as 7.5-point favorite, which I completely disagree with. What say you, Thomas?
I'm right there with you, Dave. I don't see this as a 7.5-point spread for Chicago. I think home field advantage has been a big play this year, but going up against Atlanta, obviously the champions from last year, had a little bit of a rocky start, starting out 2-2, but again, got a tough schedule that they're working with, and playing tough opponents, and they got a rookie quarterback in there. So I wouldn't say they're 7.5-point favorites. Personally, I still think Chicago's going to squeak it out because Chicago's just been playing really well. That passing game's been on fire. I think home field's going to play a big factor here, but it's going to be a lot closer than 7.5, I would say. Keys to the game for me, I want to know, is BDG finally going to get rolling? He finally got his touches last week in terms of rushing the ball. He had 22 carries, was over 80 yards rushing on the ground. I want to see that. I want to keep seeing him getting 20-plus touches. If he's getting those touches and Brian keeps throwing for 300-plus yards, I don't think there's any way they don't win this game. But what it's going to come down to is that Chicago passing game still going to be as electric as it was last week? Are they going to drop 40 points again? And if Chicago can perform like they did last week, it's going to be a really great game.
Yeah, I took a little heat from Mikey, after saying I thought London was going to get their first victory last week with Chicago traveling to London. I am absolutely 100% picking Atlanta to take care of business in Chicago this week. So, Mikey and Proda, if you're listening, that's for you, buddy. All right, let's see. Continuing on Saturday, what I think could possibly very well be the game of the week, which I also called, I believe, Baltimore's game last week with Denver, game of the week. So maybe back to back with Baltimore having what I think may be the best game. And Vancouver's playing absolutely out of their mind as well. Frank, what do you think?
I had the Baltimore game last week. I told you it was going to be close, and it was close, and it was an exciting game. The only person I really know that I've really gotten close to out of these two teams is Chad. So I don't have this, this vested interest in this game other than the fact that it's football and it's going to be exciting. Both teams are 3-1. Vancouver over the season is averaging 27 points per game. Baltimore 29 points per game. Baltimore's third in offense. Vancouver's 8 in offense. Tom Pepper's 8 in total yards. Gazzo is 6 in total yards. You see both these teams are very much similar to each other. I've always said that Baltimore is a very complete team with their running game and passing game. T. Roy Gaines is 10th in yards with 408. You got Pratchard is 4th in receiving, and Brett Killian is 11th in receiving. This game right here is going to come down to the wire, just like the last week did with Baltimore. On the road, Vancouver, his third down percentage is 72%. That's going to be very key right there. If they can convert third downs, they're going to keep this game close to the very end. Looking at the numbers, they match up pretty well. There are a lot of similarities between the two. It's going to be a very close game. It's going to come down to a turnover. Baltimore utilizes their back more on the passing game than Vancouver does. Baltimore is playing at home, so I'm going to give the edge to Baltimore.
Okay, great. And real quick, just to recap, I think I saw Doyle jump in late, so he was wondering what I said about why he would like the graphics. So I just want you guys, for those of you that are actually watching the show right now or will be watching it back, we did home team stats for the home team, away stats for the away team. So basically, Baltimore has 467.5 yards a game at home. Vancouver has 374.5 yards on the road. So that's how you're looking at these graphics tonight. So that way we kind of wanted to make it more kind of an apples to apples thing. So, all right, moving on. Game 3 on Saturday, and I'm sorry, the first 2 games will be on 11 Sports. Starting the nightcap off will be Mexico City at Houston. Again, I think I'm picking Houston for this game, but it's going to be close. Mexico City had a great win over Louisiana last week, Chad, but Houston plays really good at home. I mean, they destroyed us at home. So I can see this game going either way, but I think the edge will probably go to Houston in the home field. What do you think?
I mean, I can see where you're going with that. I mean, obviously, playing at home, Houston's been doing very well. I mean, they're averaging, 122.5 yards per game at home. Warren Murray's been playing really well lately. So I could see this, but Mexico City has been very surprising. I think they've been the team that everybody kind of wrote off at the beginning of the season, and now here we are sitting at 3-1. They took down one of the undefeated teams in the league in Louisiana last week, really slowed them down. The Crim Reaper, I believe, got a sack in that game, if I remember correctly. Some other guys got some sacks as well. So, I mean, this defense is actually – the front seven is actually pretty legit. So, I can really see this going either way, honestly.
Yeah, Jack's data has Houston favored by 3. I think that's a perfect spread for this game, to be honest with you.
I agree with that. 100% agree with that.
And I'm going to go through the who you gots when we do the pick'ems for everybody that is wondering to see where we stand right now with SFL Nation on that. This is actually one of the games I'm really looking forward to watching on Saturday. The nightcap wrap-up game on Saturday, Carolina at Jacksonville. Quite the opposite for me. I'm not sure what to make of this game. 2 teams that are 2-2, 2 teams that I don't think we're going to be 2-2 at this point, especially Jacksonville. Carolina, kind of a roller coaster team to me, up and down. I just don't know where to go with this game. Nelson, what do you think about this game?
So looking at it, I was kind of looking at how they played. Carolina played us last time and it was a very close game. Jacksonville for the first two games was rolling, and then it looked like now recently they kind of been a little bit stagnant. Looking at some of these stats that I was looking on here, it is pretty impressive on what Carolina has. So like in passing, they were fourth, but when it comes down to rushing, the 21st. And there was a couple things here, like when it comes down into the red zone, I saw the opportunities that they have, being 19th in pass TDs and 20th in rush TDs. Really, the defense is a big thing for Carolina. So allowed TDs, they only had 6, and that was 7th. And then allowed rush TDs was 4th, which had them at 15th. So it looks like their defense was doing well. Just the conversion, they only had 4 turnovers so far this season, which is 21st.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have much going on in Jacksonville. It's really the passing that they really excel on. So 10th in passing, 8th in rushing. So they're very balanced on there. And then when it comes down to pass TDs and rush TDs, they were 10th and 16th. So again, they have pretty balanced on what you have there. You're not sure if they're going to really go. Right now it's pass heavy, but they do have a pretty good balance with rushing. But it really becomes when it comes down to allowed on their defense. So allowed rush TDs at 21st with 5. So again, it's going to be very interesting seeing this game here. Again, Carolina, they fight tough all the way to the end from the last game that we had with them.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to see. Like, again, they're both 2-2. It can go either way. And when Carolina played their first game, I mean, they demolished when they had the game against Charleston. So, again, it's really hard for me to really pick a team right now. But if I was just going off of the win, I'd probably go with Jacksonville on this one.
Yeah. Let me say that Jack's data has Jacksonville favored by 7 in this. That's probably a pretty accurate spread. I already said Atlanta, Chicago, and Mexico City, and Houston. I forgot Baltimore. Chad, Jack's data has you guys favored by 3 over Vancouver. And, I mean, personally, I think that's a pick'em game, but that's still a pretty close spread. That wraps up Saturday's slate of games. Kicking us off on Sunday, Queen City at St. Louis. My boys, Fonzie and Eagle and all those guys over there at St. Louis. Queen City 2-2. Not sure if I'm surprised by that or not, but St. Louis playing at home. Frank, you think St. Louis can be able to defend home field pretty well?
I think it's going to be close. Queen City is 2-2. Coming off that loss last week, they want to rebound. What better way to do it than against a young team? Unfortunately, this young team is young only on offense. It's a very talented offense. A.J. Caswell is 7th in total yards. Bet Zero is 15th in rushing. Their leading receiver is James Matthews Jr., the tight end. Chris Curtis and plays with a broken nose. He's ranked 16th as receivers go. But you've got Paul Delavu, you got Phil Koss, you got Eagle Mondavi, Martinez, and Javier Vasquez. Those are all talented rookies right there. So I think this one's going to be tough for Queen City. Both teams are in the middle of the pack in stats as far as offense and defense goes. I love the coaching staff of both. There are a lot of questions here. Will home field advantage be enough for St. Louis? Will Queen City's offense be able to get on track? Will the offense of St. Louis be there to reward the defense for keeping them close? I think this comes down to special teams. I think it's going to be on the foot of one of the kickers to win this game.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I'm looking at the spread line right now by Jack's data. They only have Queen City favored by 3. Are you surprised by that? I am, actually.
I am surprised.
Yeah, I thought they would be favored a little more, to be honest with you. And that's not a hit on St. Louis. I just think Queen City, they're Queen City. I don't know. Let's see. That game is at 12:30 on Sunday, so you can sleep in a little bit, but not too much. That's 12:30 Eastern on 11 Sports. The second game on Sunday, also on 11 Sports at 2:30. Louisiana coming off their first loss. Portland looking for their first win. Chad, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting game, I think, in my mind. Last week, Streeter getting stopped for only 55 yards. I mean,
Shocking.
like I said, proving once again, what I talked about earlier about that Mexico City front seven. So this week, obviously we know the offense kind of feeds through Streeter. So let's see if they could actually get him, going again. Johnny, once again, being an effective quarterback that he is, completing over 75% of his passes in that last game. So keep him going as well. For Portland on their side, I mean, they're doing everything in my mind correctly. They obviously were getting into the red zone, but just not being able to convert. So I think the red zone offense has got to be a little bit better this week in order to win this ball game. Take those opportunities that you get and actually capitalize on those. But really everything else that they're doing, they're actually playing really well. Their defense is playing really well. So I look for this to actually be a pretty decent game.
Yeah, I think Jack's data agrees with you. They only have Louisiana favored by 4.5 points. Little who you got spoiler though. Louisiana crushing it by almost 100 more votes than Portland. But I'm with you, Chad, and I'm with Jack's data. I think this will be a closer game than people might think. The next game on Saturday, also on 11 Sports at 4:30, is the Crowd Play game of the week. If you have not downloaded Crowd Play, the Crowd Play app on your phone, please do so. It's actually pretty easy to win. And to answer Eagle's question from Tuesday, I don't know where I finished. I don't remember. I missed most of the second half due to eating dinner, but I still won $5. I literally watched the game, played some Crowd Play, had a great meal, and I still won $5. So how about that? Well, $4.75 if you want to be correct, but if you want to be accurate. But so there's your answer, Eagle, from Tuesday. So Las Vegas, who I personally think is a much better home team than they are away team, but Tulsa, we're a third of the way through the season, going into week 5, Thomas, and we're still asking the same question. We talk about it every Tuesday on the recap. We talk about it every Thursday in the preview. All you got to do is take care of Gabriel Manning, and you win the game. Does Vegas do that this week?
That's a great question, Dave. I think teams have been doing a good job of limiting Gabe Manning in the last couple of weeks, but he's still getting out there. He's still getting yards. He's still getting catches. And I think Tulsa's learning how to adapt and how to get that whole offense more involved. For me, the biggest question of this game is going to be, can Vegas finally get that running game going? You look at the graphic, you see they're averaging 5 rushing yards per game when they're away. They really, really, really need to get that running game going.
That's just, that's terrible.
As good as Tom Noodles is gunning the ball and throwing for he's averaging astronomical numbers right now. I think it's something like 350 passing yards a game. He's playing really well. He's got a plus 95 QBR. He's got I think 8 touchdowns to 6 picks. He's throwing the ball great, but they can't get that running game going, and that's probably the difference why they're 2-2 and not 4-0 right now.
Yeah. So, I agree with that. Go ahead. I was just going to agree with you.
I think one of the big impacts is going to be, can Tulsa rebound from last week where they only put up 3 points against St. Louis? I think Tulsa's coming in. Their pride's going to be a little bit hurt after last week. Having home field to help them out a little bit, but I think Vegas is going to finally get that running game going this week. I think Gabe Manning's still going to do what he's done the last 2 weeks. He's going to put up decent numbers, but he's not going to light it up. And I could see Vegas winning this by multiple possessions.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Tulsa only scored 3 points in their game, and Las Vegas actually hung with Sioux Falls and had a chance to tie it near the end of the game. So I definitely give the advantage to Las Vegas. Jack's data only has Las Vegas. I'm sorry, they have Tulsa. Is that right? Jack's data? Oh my gosh, they have Tulsa favored by 3.5 in this game. I would definitely go to Vegas to throw some money down on that bad boy. Let's see. Sunday nighttime, first nightcap game, Charleston at Arizona. I said it in my intro. Arizona has got to be considered one of the hottest teams in the entire league right now. Look at they're averaging 500 yards a game at home. That's just insanity, Frank. I mean, how do you even defend that?
We got the Predators are 1-3. Lost opening day 21-24 to Carolina in a game they probably should have won. And now they've hit Murderer's Row. Lost to 3-1 Baltimore, lost to defending champions. They did, however, upset SFL runner-ups and predicted season 15 champions Sioux Falls at home. Arizona only gives up 18 points a game. That leads the league. Eddie Gage does a great job with him defensively. He's doing a great job with Ashley Jackson now offensively. Whatever he's doing to have that success, keep it going. She's only thrown 3 interceptions so far. 2 of those came in week 1 against Lone Star. Right now, she's right in this 3-game win streak, and she's keeping the interceptions down. Keith Swearingen is 4th in rushing, but he doesn't catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. DJ Moses has 3 times as many catches out of the backfield as Swearingen does, 34 to 13.
Interesting.
Buchanan Simons is 20th, 316 yards and 3 TDs, but 186 yards came against Baltimore in week 2. So other than that, he's averaging 43 yards a game. The next closest guy is Ken McCarr, 31 with 277 yards on 30 catches. The Scorpions are 4th in total defense. If you look at what Charleston can do on the road, averaging 405 yards a game on the road, you're thinking that's pretty impressive. But then you look at Arizona at home, 507 yards
That's
at
insane.
home. Like I said, Ashley is doing a great job of checking down. That's why she's got that high completion rating. She's checking down a lot to the back and the short routes and things like that. You don't have a lot of deep routes. If Charleston can get her to force her to throw deep routes, put her in that game, they may have a chance. They can keep it close, maybe get a turnover or 2. But you know how they say about adding ifs.
Yep.
Too many ifs means you're not going to win. One thing I need you to look at, +4 turnover differential for Charleston, +5 for Arizona. I went against Eddie Gage last week, I believe, kicked in the butt. Not doing it this week.
So you're expecting a lot of turnovers in this game, I guess.
I am expecting some turnover, yes.
Okay. And you're right. AJ's tearing it up, and that's why she's one of the Diva of the Week nominees this week. So we'll see here in just a little bit after Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom if she actually is the winner or not, or if it goes to, or if I'm going to win my 3rd one this season already with Chris Curtis. The nightcap for Sunday night. I'm sorry, let me go back real quick. Arizona, Jack's data has Arizona favored by 10. Double digits. It's one of only 2 double-digit spreads this week. That's saying a lot of what Jack's data thinks about Arizona right now. This game, London at Denver, 13.5-point spread for Denver, and I think that's actually being considerate. Nelson, I think Denver just runs away with this game. What do you think?
So looking at Denver and looking at what they've been able to do, this is Jeremy's coming back season, and they were champions in season 13. So looking at his numbers again, his strength, he does have a good offense in the sense of the total numbers. When it comes down to pass TDs, they're 12th, but when it comes down to rush TDs, they're 2nd. So really their offense is really spread around, but it really has a really strong run game. And their defense has allowed only 1 rushing TD this season so far. That's pretty impressive. That's 2nd overall. And then their actual rush allowed yardage wise, they're number 1 at only 48.8.
Wow.
So it's going to be a very difficult game. They're really balanced and their defense is good, but then you do have the advantages on the passing, which passing they allowed 9 passing TDs, which is 17th, and then allowed yards is huge difference between rush and pass at 333 yards, and they're 21st when it comes down to pass allowed. When it comes down to London, again, they're an 0-4 team, so I would love them to get their first win, and it'd be epic for it to be against Denver. But their offense is overall in yardage wise is mid-pack. But when it gets to the red zone, they're 16th in pass TDs and 12th in rushing TDs.
Yeah.
And then their defense is allowing a little bit too much. So they allowed 10 TDs so far, which is 21st. And then rush TDs, they only allowed 4, but again, that's 15th, so mid-pack there. And then they've allowed a lot of rush compared to Denver, which again, their strengths are the rushing. Yeah. They allowed 106 yards so far, which is 13th, and then passing 270. which is 11th. So, and the turnovers, they're pretty similar. So they've had 6 turnovers so far, London versus Denver having 8. So on that standpoint, they are getting the turnovers, but it's again falling in the favor of Denver. But I would love to see London finally get their first win, and I think that would be pretty epic if it was against Denver.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. I think Denver wins probably by a couple touchdowns. I think, I called London to win their first game last week hosting Chicago. Chicago dominated them. Then they had some internal issues. Liam has some new coordinators for this week. I think going to Denver to play Jeremy with new coordinators is probably the last thing you want to do right now. So I don't think it's going to be a very pleasant day for London.
I'm gonna tell you that. Yeah, when you see it on here, yeah, you're definitely right. They do have it on both sides of the ball, Denver. So it will be a challenge for London to really step up. But again, having another 0-4 team, I would love to see them get their first win.
Yeah, it would be great. So moving on to Monday Night Football. Guess who finally gets their first Monday night game? Your second place Lone Star Glory hosting the Florida Storm. So I'm sure Doyle, I probably should have had Doyle in here to help to recap this game. I'm sure he would have seen it completely different than I'm going to see it. We all know Lone Star plays well at home, Chad. Florida got their first victory last week. What do you think?
You guys play good at home? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, we're undefeated, bro. In the history of Lone Star Glory, we are undefeated at home.
No, I'm just messing with you. No, you know what? I've been saying for the past few weeks, every time I have to preview a game or recap a game for you guys, I'm always wondering where your offense was. It finally happened. It finally showed up. Ike McBride, carrying the ball 21 times for 65 yards, got 2 TDs. She showed up, played a great game. I want to see a little bit more out of the passing offense, obviously. I mean, the King Diva over here getting 7 catches,
Whoop.
So I mean, it's coming around. I liked what I saw last week against Fort Worth. Now you guys got Florida. They're a tough team, obviously. I mean, even though they are 1-3, they looked good last week. So this is really going to be an interesting game to me on how this goes.
Doyle, I'm just saying right now, Doyle's going to have his hands full against our defensive line. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're going to have their hands full against you guys, no doubt about it. Plus, you guys are at home. You do play better at home than you do on the road. Like I said, their rushing offense needs to get up a little bit too because they're only averages 61.5 on the road.
Okay.
But, like I said, I think that this is going to be a pretty good matchup. Now, I'm not sure what Jack Stata has it as. I know.
Well, I'm about to tell you, and then I'm going to do something I never do. I'm going to have somebody come on the show to defend themselves against me right now as soon as I mention that Lone Star is a 6.5 favorite and the Who You Got was tied the last time I looked. So Doyle, what do you got to say about that, bringing you on the show out of the blue? What's up?
Okay, if this was a neutral site game, we would win by 35.
You're a smoke, dude. Whatever you're smoking, seriously, not on this show. Come on.
Okay.
Never gonna happen.
Have you guys even put up 35 in a game yet this season?
Wait, hold on.
He had 23 last week.
All right, okay. So anyway, all right, Doyle, we'll hear more from you in the after dark portion, mister. We can talk about it, and I think we're going to have that bet that you asked me about too. So we'll talk about that in Access After Dark.
Yes, sir.
The game to wrap up the weekend. Let's see. Sioux Falls at Fort Worth. They only have Sioux Falls as a 7-point favorite. I actually expected it to be a little more. Sioux Falls looked like Sioux Falls again last week, and I don't know. I think they're just that good of a team, Thomas. You think 7 points is a fair spread?
Honestly, I do, because I've got a question, honestly, to everybody. Do you guys think Sioux Falls is looking one-dimensional right now with that rushing game? Because I'm looking at these leaderboards, and I'm seeing Julian Tyree at second to last in passing, and that makes me wonder, are teams figuring out what Sioux Falls is doing? Are they going to dime in on that rushing game? I think 7 is a fair spread, and I'd agree with Jack Stata. This might be closer than people think it's going to be. Fort Worth has shown throughout the season that they know what they're doing. Obviously, it's been a little rough. They've had a couple rough games, but I could see this being a close game that goes down to the wire. Sioux Falls has that defense that's going to make it hard on Fort Worth all game, but I think it's definitely going to be a close one. Sioux Falls needs a bounce back after last week. I still think Sioux Falls will win this game, despite relying on the running game. But I think Fort Worth just needs to stand up, show they're here to play. Obviously, with their win over Queen City, they showed everybody that they know what they're doing. But if they can pull out a statement win against Sioux Falls, it's really going to show that Fort Worth is still in it this season. The keys to the game for me would be Xander Gold. He needs to take over the show, just sling the ball and really lead that offense. But overall, I could see Sioux Falls winning this by anywhere between 3 and 7 points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little more than that. And again, no disrespect to Fort Worth. And actually, they probably play better at home too, so maybe it'll be closer. But we'll see. That wraps up the slate of games for Week 5. Let me get out of here for a second so I can get Gunny in here. Gunny, are you with us right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. I'm going to set up your graphic, and then as soon as I do that, you are ready to go whenever you are ready to go.
All righty. Good evening, SFL. This week we're going to go by Week 4 standings of last year against the standings of this year. Atlanta is -1. They were 2-2 at this time. They were 3-1 last year, 2-2 this year. Baltimore, 3-1 last year, 3-1 this year. Charleston, 1-3 this year. They were 3-1 at this same time last year. Jacksonville, 3-1 last year, 2-2 this year. Queen City, 3-1 last year, 2-2 this year. Vancouver was 4-0. Now they're 3-1. Sioux Falls 3-1, 3-1. Chicago 2-2. Now they're 3-1. St. Louis was 1-3. Now they're 2-2. Mexico City was 1-3 last year. They have went up +2. They're 3-1. Las Vegas was 1-3. Now they're 2-2. Florida was 2-2. They're 1-3. Tulsa 2-2. Now they're 1-3. Denver was 1-3. They're 3-1. They're also +2. Seattle, which is now Lone Star, was 1-3 at this time last year. Now they are 2-2 as Lone Star. Carolina was 1-3 in 14, 2-2 in 15. Arizona, another +2, 1-3 in 14, 3-1 in 15. New Orleans, which is now the Louisiana Revolution, was 1-3 in season 14. They also +2. They're 3-1. Houston was 1-3. They're 2-2. London was 2-2 last year. Right now they're 0-4. They're a -2 this year. And not applicable is Fort Worth, Toros, and Portland Fleet because they are new expansion teams. Have a great night, everybody. That is all.
Hey, Gunny, real quick before you go, what was the biggest difference in those? Who had the biggest difference in where they were last year after 4 games tonight?
Those 2 or 3 that were +2.
+2? Okay. So nothing crazy then. Nobody going from like 0-4 to 4-0 or 3-1 to something like that, right?
Now, it's about 3 teams that were +2 and 2 teams that are -2, and everybody else is pretty even.
About the same. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we'll hear more from Gunny when we go through the pick'ems in a few minutes. But you know what time it is now. It is time for Diva of the Week winner. So we had our 7 nominees that we listed on Tuesday. This was the second closest vote that we've had so far. It was only by like a half of a percentage. So it was a very close vote. If you go to my server after this show, you'll see for the first 3 weeks we put in the percentages, and then sometime tonight or tomorrow we'll add the ones from tonight in. So, but I would love to introduce, and I apologize, we didn't have the video ready in time for the show. So we'll just have the graphic, but what we'll do is we'll get the video done, and I will play that Tuesday before we go through the nominees for Week 5. So just to let you know, after all that close voting, the Diva of the Week for Week 4 in the SFL is Ashley Jackson. Congratulations, Ashley. You are Diva of the Week winner for week 5. And look who's here. Look who's on the show. It is Mrs. Stryker herself. AJ, what's going on?
I am so happy. I don't know how to contain myself. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but well, I guess I'm not sorry. I guess I'm not sorry. So, I mean, you are. Let's talk about this for a second. You struggled a little bit last year. This year, game 1 was game 1 against us, whatever. But the last 3 games, you've had 3 games in a row over. You've thrown over 80% completions. You've had the last 2 weeks before week 4, you had no interceptions. You only had 1 this past week. What's the difference?
I honestly think Eddie is a different. I mean, he has been working tireless on both sides of it, and all credit really should go to because he's up literally 5 o'clock in the morning. We have to tell him, hey, you need to go to sleep. You have to work in the morning. You need to get your that, and just being a little bit more wiser on spending my points the right way, the attributes and high value animations, things like that. I think.
Yeah, oh, lost you there for a second, AJ.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you can. What was the last thing you said?
Yeah, I think that just spending points the right way, on attributes instead of doing the high value animations and things like that. I think that does help because you're concentrating on building up the player first and then adding.
Yeah, and I think we talked a lot about Arizona leading up to the season and after the week 1 loss, and I don't mean to rub it in, but the point is, you took that week 1 loss against us, and everybody's like, how long is it going to take for Eddie Gage to, figure out the offense since this is his first season doing offense? It hasn't taken him long at all. He turned it around really quick.
No, not at all. I mean, as soon as the game is over with, he's simming that night. So, like I said, he has been doing this. I cannot do it without him or my team. DJ has been excellent. The Hands brothers have been getting a lot of good looks too. So it's in defense, of course. So it's a collective effort ultimately. And I just want to say thank you for everybody that voted, for me and just voted. Period. I really do appreciate.
Yeah, and congratulations again. You're going to stick around to do the pick'ems with us?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So again, congratulations, Diva of the Week for week 4. Ashley Jackson just tearing it up in Arizona. Eddie Gage, the offensive guru now, who was already defensive guru. I guess defensive guru. He's more of like an offensive machine right now. The way he's putting up these numbers, it's absolutely incredible. I do want to.
I think the reason that.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, AJ.
I think the reason that we lost week 1 is because I had you on the show prior to it.
Oh, well, every time we play that, I'll come on your show.
No, you're not. No.
Especially if we meet in the playoffs this year, I'm coming on your show.
No, you're not.
Yes.
I will promptly have you on there next week.
I'm going to call YouTube. No joke. Anyway, all right, we'll see you in just a minute here. Before we get into the pick'ems, I need to make a correction. I actually made a mistake, believe it or not. I know, and that's something I can blame on technology this time or anything else. But as I was reading through Eagles Baby's information, and I put the graphic back up right now from Tuesday, I mispronounced her name. I think I said Elise, and her name is Elsie. Elsie Jean Mondavi. There you go, Eagle. My condolences. I'm sorry for messing up her name. And so now the record has been officially corrected. Art Vandalay, I see your comments in there. That's hilarious. Anyway, all right, let's move on from that. I don't want to deal with that situation anymore. All right, let's get back to the schedule so we can talk about the pick'ems. Chad, we're going to start with you. Atlanta at Chicago.
Atlanta at Chicago. So I'm gonna feel really dirty about this, but I'm gonna go Chicago. just, like I said, with the way that Atlanta plays, and the way Chicago's actually been playing lately, I just have to go Chicago on it.
You're gonna go
There's
Chicago.
there's no explanation. I'm just gonna go Chicago.
I don't understand the explanation either. Okay, Frank, what about you?
I'm going Chicago.
You're going
I like
Chicago.
what
Really?
I like what they're doing. They brought in the Cuban Missile, and I think he's doing a great job. And so I think Chicago's going to pull it out at home.
Wow, I'm a little surprised by that. I wonder if is Greg still in the chat? I know that he was complaining in there when I was talking about Atlanta. Thomas, what about you?
Oh, like I gave you on the breakdown, Dave. I got Chicago by 3.
Yep. Nelson.
I'm gonna actually go with Atlanta this time around.
There
They,
you
they won last year, so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and go with Atlanta.
Okay, finally some sense in this place. AJ, what about you? Oh, Ashley, are you with us?
I am going with Atlanta.
There you go. And then Gunny, what about you?
Atlanta's my hometown team. Chicago and Atlanta did play to a 6-3 game in Chicago last season, but I'm going with the Swarm.
Okay, so 3-3 on that game. Game 2 this week in Vancouver at your Baltimore, Chad.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go with my team. It's going to be a good game. Another close game. I think we've played close games all damn year. Seems like.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another one once again. So I'm going with our team.
Okay. You know what? Let me back up before I get to Frank. I said I was going to mention the Who You Gots during this. The Who You Got SFL Nation. Last time I checked, 124-63 Atlanta. So they're overwhelmingly Atlanta. Frank, Vancouver at Baltimore.
9 interceptions is all you need to know about Tom Pepper, and that's why I picked Baltimore over Vancouver at home.
Okay. Thomas?
I think our buddy here, Chad, is going to keep his sack streak going, and Baltimore's going to
win. Awesome. Nelson?
This time around, I'm going with Baltimore. They've been playing really well recently, so I'm going with B-More.
Okay. AJ?
I'm going to go with Baltimore. I think they're going to win by 7.
Okay, awesome. Gunny, sorry.
This is the only match of 3-1 records. It's Baltimore at home, so I'm going with the Vultures.
Okay, Baltimore in a clean sweep. Who You Got also has Baltimore 141-46 last time I checked. Game 3 on Saturday, Mexico City at Houston, Chad.
Yeah, the front 7 for Mexico City has actually been very surprising this year. The offense is obviously flowing through Matt Wilson's arm. I'm going to go with Mexico City. I'm going to go against Houston on this. I'm going to go with Mexico City by 3.
Okay. Frank?
Warren Murray's been playing pretty good, but Mexico City's front 7, I think, is going to slow that down. Kentez Johnson's only had one good game, so I'm going to go with Mexico City.
Okay. And we don't need to talk about which game that was. Thomas?
I got Mexico City as well by 14.
Wow. You don't think it's going to be as close as everybody else, huh?
I think Mexico City's been killing good teams, and I think they're going to kill Houston.
Wow. Okay, you guys heard it here first. Nelson, how about you?
I'm going to go with Mexico City around this time. They've been playing really well. And not to doubt Houston, because Houston's been playing good at home. I just think Mexico City has a pretty good plan when they go against teams.
Okay. AJ?
Personally, I think it's going to come down to a shootout with both teams. You can't really count. But I will go with Mexico City by 3. Very close.
Okay. And Gunny?
I had a good talk with Andre Krim this week, so I'm going with the Aztecs.
Wow, that's 2 sweeps in a row for you guys, 6-6. And it looks like SFL Nation agrees with you. Last I checked, Mexico City 127-53 over Houston. The night game, the nightcap on Saturday, Carolina at Jacksonville. Chad?
Jacksonville at home, to me, this is a pick 'em. I know that's going to sound odd to say, but I think Carolina is actually going to have a pretty decent game plan. Once again, I feel kind of dirty just because it's the Sky Rats. But at the end of the day, I think that Jacksonville just barely squeaks by.
Okay. Frank?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. Jacksonville at home. I think that's going to give them the edge. Carolina's going to make it close, but I'm going Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Thomas?
I think Jacksonville gets it back on track and wins by 10.
Okay. Wow, you got some big, bold predictions this week. Nelson?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. I think it's gonna be a tight game, though. I think Carolina is definitely gonna give them more for their money.
Okay. AJ?
Jacksonville is pissed, so
Yeah.
I think they're gonna, and they're gonna wind up.
There you go. Gunny?
This is a tough game because both teams are 2-2. I think Carolina's going to do a little better than the squeaker with Portland, so I'm going to go with Carolina this week for an upset at Jacksonville.
Okay, you saved a third sweep in a row. You were the only one who picked Carolina, and looks like who you got? SFL Nation 138-45 all over Jacksonville. Kicking off Sunday, Queen City at St. Louis. Chad.
This one's actually going to be a pretty decent game, I believe. You got Mike and Proda, Tim Hackett on the call. So it's going to be loud already as it is anyway in St. Louis. I am actually going to go St. Louis in this game.
St. Louis at home. Okay, Frank?
This is one of the games I broke down. I said it's going to come down to the foot of the kicker, and I think she was dominant in the minors, and she's 6 for 6 now. Amy Shalizzi's going to win this game. St. Louis.
Okay, Thomas?
This is a tough one for me. It was really tough to pick. I think it's going to be really close, but I think Queen City squeaks it out.
Okay. Nelson?
I'm looking for St. Louis to win this one. I think their offense and everything, they take a lot of shots downfield. I think they can win this out.
Okay. AJ?
Got to go with St. Louis. Then they're going to win by 3.
Okay. Gunny?
Gunny likes the forest green of St. Louis more than the neon green socks of Queen City, so he's going with St. Louis.
There you go. I just want to confirm, Thomas, you did pick Queen City, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. So, again, another 5-1. We're so close to a lot of sweeps this week. Overwhelmingly, SFL Nation has chosen Queen City 130-51 in the Who You Got. Second game on Sunday, Louisiana at Portland. Chad? Bueller? You're muted, bro. Chad Bueller, you're muted. Oh, he hung up and came back, so he must have been having some issues. Frank, let's go to you.
Hey, Louisiana's going to bounce back. I'm still feeling that Portland win is going to eventually get here, but I don't think it's this weekend. I think Louisiana's going to take this one.
Okay, Thomas, what do you think?
I so badly want to see Portland get their first win, but I think Louisiana is going to win it for sure.
Okay, Nelson?
You already know I'm going to go with my Portland Fleet. I think we're going to definitely turn some heads, and I think we're going to turn the offense around this week. And my defense is still going to be amazing. So I'm going to go Portland.
You guys have been so close a couple times already, bro. AJ, what do you think?
Nelson, don't kill me, okay? I love you. But I think this is not the Lewis line.
Okay.
But if I'm wrong, I promise you I will give you a straight shout out.
There you go. Gunny?
Portland lost by 1 point in one game and lost on a last-second field goal last week. I'm going with Portland at the Fleet Shipyard.
Nice call. Chad, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So, yeah, Louisiana losing that game to Mexico City, I think they're pissed off. Reggie Streeter's pissed off. They're going to come back and win this ball game. No offense to Portland. I think Portland is actually playing really well this season despite not having a win yet. And it's going to be a close game, but I see Louisiana squeaking it out.
Okay, staying with you, Chad. Crowd play game of the week, Vegas at Tulsa.
This is Vegas all the way for me. I mean, they've just been playing really well this season. Obviously going into Tulsa's kind of had it down, past couple weeks. I'm going with Vegas.
Okay. Frank?
Hey, we were in Sioux Falls inside the five times, 4 field goals. It's still heart-wrenching. I say we go into Tulsa and make some noise. And I'm not just picking us because I play for Vegas. I think we're going to do something, so I'm going Vegas.
You guys got to correct those red zone issues, bro, for real. Thomas.
Go to the tight end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Frank.
Go to the tight end.
There you go. Thomas?
I think Vegas finally gets that running game going on the road, and they win.
Okay. Nelson?
You know what? Seeing Vegas play and seeing how their offense plays really well, I'm going to go with Vegas.
Okay. AJ?
I'm going to roll with Tulsa.
Oh, look at you being a rebel. Gunny?
Las Vegas.
Okay.
Go blue.
Man, we got so many games that are 6-0 or 5-1. Who you got? Let's see. Did I mention that Louisiana 134-43 over Portland? I think I forgot to mention that. Las Vegas 136 over 50, or to 50 over Tulsa, so very similar on both those games. Moving on to Charleston at Arizona. Chad.
I've said it in the preseason. I said it at the beginning of the season. If Eddie Gage can figure out the offense, this team is going to be scary.
Mm-hmm.
They are scary. So I am going with Arizona, especially at home. This is going to be, in my mind, I think it's a blowout.
Wow. Okay. Frank?
Arizona at home. Eddie Gage. I'm not going against him anymore. I don't think I'm taking Arizona.
Okay, Thomas?
I just want to get the Ashley Jackson for MVP train going. The way she's been playing, she's been destroying it, and I want to see her get that MVP trophy. I've got Arizona by 10.
Well, she started tonight winning Diva of the Week, so it's all downhill from here, AJ. I'm going to tell you. Nelson?
You know, I should probably choose the other team since Ashley went ahead and did that to me. But the way that she's been playing and Eddie and everything else, I'm going to go with Arizona this time around.
Okay. AJ, do I even need to ask you?
Of course not. It's gonna be AZ. And Nelson, I told you, don't be mad, honey. I'll sing to you later. It'll be
It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Gunny, what about you?
I cannot see the number 2 seed from last year falling to 1-4, so I'm going with Charleston.
Ooh, look at that. There's always one of you that's going against the tide in these games. I don't get it. Arizona overwhelmingly 143-46 in the who you got. Chad, wrapping up Sunday night, London at Denver.
Oh man, this is just hard.
I know.
You know what? I feel bad for London for the stuff that, you know, whatever is going on over there this season. I mean, 0-4. You know, they were in a few of these games, and then last week they just looked completely lost. Denver, obviously, you know, a very tough team this season with Vega coaching. It's Denver all the way in this one.
Okay, Frank.
Yeah, London is. You know, I want them to get that win, but with the new coordinators, I don't think it's going to happen this week in Denver. I'm going Denver.
Okay, Thomas.
I'll tell you what, Dave, I'm giving you the shocker pick of the week. I know Jeremy Vega is one of the best game planners in the league, but how do you game plan against two brand new coordinators that haven't called a game yet? I'm going to say London wins this game.
Really? So you're doing the reverse psychology thing, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to change the game. Vega's going against two guys he's never seen coach before. I think it's really going to make a difference.
Okay, we'll see about that. Nelson.
I'm going to go with London on this one. You know, I said the odds are definitely in Denver's favor, and it is true, but I really want to see this 0-4 team go. So I'm going to choose London this time around.
All right, AJ, what are you thinking?
And as much as I would love to see that, hopefully they will.
Oh, AJ, we lost you. As much as you would love to see, and then we didn't hear anything else after that.
As much as I would love to see London pull this win out, I think that it won't be against.
So you're going Denver. I think
Yeah.
you cut out again, but I could tell by the
Denver.
way that conversation was going. Okay, Gunny.
As I said earlier, London was 2-2 after 4 games. They finished the season 2-10. Now they've lost 4 in a row. I do love all the new players and second-year players in London. They're going to rebound, but I'm going with Denver this week.
Okay, and then to wrap up, oh no, I'm sorry, that was the last game on Sunday. Moving on to Monday Night Football. Chad, Florida at Lone Star.
First of all, the Thomas and Nelson, that's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
That's
is.
let's see if that strategy pays off for you. But I mean, going on this game, Lone Star, Florida, this one's actually going to be a good game. Lone Star getting their first game on television this season. I'm going with Lone Star for this one.
Okay, Frank.
I have not picked against you yet. Going Lone Star.
There you go. I love this Frank guy. Hey, who do you play for now, Frank? Vegas? I might have to talk to Slim Shady about a trade, maybe. We'll see. Thomas?
We're undefeated at home. There's no way we lose the game.
There you go. Attaboy. That's what I want to hear. Nelson?
You know what? You guys have been playing pretty competitive, so I'm going to go with Lone Star this time around.
Okay. AJ? All right, don't be mad. Week 1 was a long time ago. You've come a long way since then. Don't let that hold that against you.
I mean, but then you are also going against Mighty. Mighty is one of the top coordinators, guys.
Okay.
Come on, we can't forget that. But you're gonna be so okay. I actually on my show I picked Florida to win, so I think I'm gonna go with Florida, man. Dave, don't be mad. Dave.
Hey Fonzie, did we already mail out the Diva of the Week award? Or Gunny, what do you think about AJ picking against us?
We already beat her, so I mean, I guess we already got our say so.
Attaboy. Who you going with,
Hey,
Gunny?
just prove me wrong.
What's that?
Just prove me wrong.
There you go.
That's all you gotta do.
All right, Gunny, I know you're picking Lone Star.
We play very well at home, so I'm going with the home team.
There you go. Attaboy.
Hugo always gets stats at home, so go Hugo.
That's right. Draft Hugo. All right, wrapping up the weekend. Sioux Falls at Fort Worth. Chad?
Even though the game is in Fort Worth, you guys played them last week. They didn't really look that good to me. I'm going with Sioux Falls.
Okay. Frank?
The more complete team, Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls. You know what? Let me stop you there, too. I don't know why I keep messing this up, but Denver was overwhelmingly 155-32, FYI, on the Who You Got. And then I already said, last I looked, I think somebody in the chat said, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said I think Florida's up like 1 vote on us right now. So the Florida Lone Star thing is pretty much basically a tie at this point. Thomas, Sioux Falls, and Fort Worth.
I think Sioux Falls wins a close one.
Okay. Nelson?
I gotta go against the Tide. I'm gonna go with Fort Worth on this game. I think they
Wow.
have some strategy. Watch, they're gonna pull it out somehow, some way.
Okay.
And Chad, yes, I'm gonna go with it. I know you're saying, "Hey, go stick by it," and I'm gonna stick by it. We're gonna see how it goes.
Okay, we'll talk about that next Friday, I guess. AJ?
I think Sioux Falls is actually gonna win one on the road. Colin Hart ain't nothing to play with.
Yep, I agree with you. Gunny?
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls. Yeah, that's Gunny's team to win it all too. So I would not surprised that you pick him. All right, so we got a whole bunch of 6-0s, a bunch of 5-1s. Sioux Falls again, another overwhelmingly vote on the Who You Got, 136-44 in favor of Sioux Falls. That kind of wraps up the previews for Week 5. And what we normally do is we move right on into After Dark. If anybody wants to come on the show to talk about anything, I think Jeremy Vega wanted to come on and talk about Denver, I think, or something. I know we got Doyle in the house first. I told Doyle he was going to come on the show, come on After Dark on Tuesday, but we didn't do it due to Cam having that rookie call-in thing he did. So, Doyle. Now we're here Thursday. I'm assuming the information is the same. Are you talking about the whole home and away records? Is that what you were coming on to talk about?
Okay, so that was what I was going to say, right? But then someone, I forgot who, honestly, but someone said something about failing inside the 5, and I wanted to ask, were they away in that game? Whoever was, like, failing inside the 5. Against
Frank, what were you saying?
You were at Sioux Falls.
Yeah, it was away.
Yeah. I forgot if it was the Queen City or the Jacksonville game, but we had like the same issue and we were away. So I wanted to point that out just very quickly.
So the point is that away games seem to have a tougher time in the red zone?
Maybe not like in the red zone, but just tougher time in general. But I couldn't find any like good stats for home and away. And I'm sorry for being a disappointment.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. You're just coming on the show anyway, I guess. Is there anybody else that wants to come on before? I actually have a question for AJ, but if anybody else has a question for anybody that's on the panel, a question for me, a comment, you want to talk about the pick'ems, you want to talk about Diva of the Week, whatever, anything, you're welcome to come on. Just at Winkler in here, or you can even tag me right now. It looks like Las Vegas only had -6 rushing yards. That was the other thing too. Ashley, there was a question for you from Ace Fennick, my quarterback. He said, Dave, since Ashley picked against us, will you ask her if she will sing to me?
Yes.
Yes. There you go, Ace.
That is not a problem.
There you go. I don't know if she's gonna do it on her show or what. Are you gonna sing right now, AJ? What's up?
I mean, if you would like for me to, I don't know what to. I hate putting. I
Ace
don't
has
know
got to
what to
tell us
say
what he
right
wants to hear. Do you have a special request, Ace? Anything? Let's see. We'll give him a second. Eagle, I see you in the green room. Are you coming on to jump on the show, or are you just chilling? Ace says yes. This is awesome. Ace, we need a special request. We need a song, bro.
I mean, I have one. Yes.
Well, let me see. Let's see what he says here. In the meantime, Eagle, what's up? If you were coming on to complain about me mispronouncing your daughter's name, I corrected that already.
No, I was going to, but I decided just to say hi to everybody. That's all.
Oh,
All right,
that's
hey,
it?
how you doing? Get the
Let's
heck
go.
out of
Hi,
here.
hi,
By
bye.
the way, Chad, I'm just not your fan. I'm not a fan of you tonight, Chad. That's all.
I picked you.
First time all season you've picked your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator in the pick'em.
Well, you guys started finally doing your job for Lexington, so I had to pick you.
See how it is.
I still love
It's
you.
okay.
Eagle. I still love you.
Yeah. No, I was just helping out if anybody needed to get into the green room. So if you want to come on and chat, get a hold of Winkler or I.
I think somebody's in here now, right?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Ashley, are you seeing the chat? Somebody requested Ace of Base. I see Eye of the Tiger. I see all kinds of weird stuff. But Ace said she can sing whatever she wants. I just want to hear her voice. She talks so sweet. I bet she has a great voice. Aw.
No,
That's so
all right.
sweet.
All right. Well, I got you.
I've heard it. Oh, was that Gunny? Is that what you said? You've heard her sing before, Gunny? Okay. Oh, Gunny. Oh, shoot, Gunny. Sorry, I actually had you muted on accident. Sorry, Gunny. You said you've heard her sing before?
Yeah, she sang a little bit on her podcast in between takes.
Okay.
She'll sing with her
Ashley,
music.
Ashley, are you ready, or do you want me to go to
Sure.
Dwayne first?
Sure, that's fine.
You ready to sing?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, do your thing, girl. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, live on Axis Live, Ashley Jackson.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me.
There you go, dude. Hey, AJ, I have my
Way
arms.
to go.
I have my arms
Way
in
to
the air,
go.
waving back and forth. I was
Cindy
gonna,
Lauper got shit on you.
dude. I was gonna turn my lights off and just use my cell phone. Oh, Ashley,
Well, you
thank
could do that.
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. So there you go, Ace. Are you happy now? Let's see if he's back in. I don't even know if he commented. I couldn't. The chat was going so fast, I didn't even catch up. I'll look for Ace's comment here in a second. Excuse me. In the meantime, Dwayne, what's up? Long time no see, buddy. I can't even remember last time you were on the show.
Last Thursday. AJ, you're hosting karaoke at the next convention, right?
There you go.
Hey, of course. You know I'll do it.
I'll get up there.
How about that?
Wait, Dwayne, did you come on to sing also?
Oh no, not tonight.
Okay, all right.
You guys could do a duet like Cruising or something.
There you go. Or Islands. What's the Island song?
Islands in the Stream.
Islands
Oh.
in the Stream.
There you go.
Somebody's gonna have to buy me a few drinks before that one.
Okay. All right. I think we can find a few people to do that. So anyway, what's up, Dwayne?
Yeah. So I came on because I think this is kind of a topic that's come up a little bit lately, and you guys have talked about it on the show in the past with some situations that have come up. So I want to know from the panel, and I can give my own kind of thoughts on it after, but I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say first. When do you feel that trash talk is crossing the line, or more specifically, when does something that is said as trash talk, when does that cross the line that probably shouldn't be said?
Does anybody want to run in, or I can go through? I can just kind of start at the top and work my way down if everybody wants to chime in. Ashley, if you wanted to start, if you have something to say, otherwise I'll move on to Chad.
Sure. For me, trash talk goes too far when you are definitely being personal about it. Because, guys, this is a game. We're all here to have fun. And trash talk happens. I mean, just like in sports. But you don't want to disrespect a whole country or disrespect a whole team, just because of your personal thoughts or your feelings of someone else. Go to DMs, work it out, and be cool. But don't, if you want all the fighting and the fussing, just look outside your window. We got too much of that going.
Good point. Good point. Chad, what about you? You got anything, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with her on this. It's all fun and games until it does get too personal. It's kind of like, what did Ron Burgundy say? Back on Anchorman, he said, "Leave the mothers out of it."
Mm-hmm.
So kind of, once it gets to that point where it gets too personal, that's when the trash talk really needs to stop. Head to the DMs, because like Ashley said, I mean, we all love this league, and we don't want to, put all that out there in the public and stuff, because then what's happening is new people are coming into the league, and that's the first thing they see is all the trash talking going on and calling each other this and that, and it's just not a good look for the league. So keep the trash talk to a minimum, or keep the trash talk to a certain degree, but once it gets too personal, take it to the DMs.
All right. Doyle, you got anything?
Honestly, trash talk, like both in real life and on a video game, it just depends on the two people talking trash. Because, like, if you know that it's just trash talk, then you're eventually just gonna keep doing it, and you're not gonna be affected by it. But, like, some people, they'll, like, give trash talk, but then the moment trash talk comes back, and it's like, wow, you only have 2.5 yards per carry, huh? And they're like, oh my god, ah! But, like, it just depends, like, who you're talking to. I think with, like, most people, like Johnny, for instance, he'll trash talk anyone, but then he doesn't care if anyone like trash talks him back.
Right.
I think a lot of us are like that, but you gotta realize that there is a point, and usually you don't reach that point in like the 7 days there is until of like trash talk usually, but like I don't think we usually hit that point unless if it's something else not regarding the league is when it starts to get like that toxic trash talk.
Yeah, I think if you can dish it out, you got to be able to take it. Eagle, you want to chime in? Eagle might be busy with his baby. Frank, what about you?
I agree with Ashley and Chad. Being personal, it's sometimes it gets funny. I mean, when two start going back and forth and shouting out things or posting a meme or something like that, it gets. I find it kind of comical. But when somebody gets their feelings hurt when they're trash talking, and you can't take it, and you don't need to be trash talking. But in other instances, when somebody's like attacking somebody's family member or disability or something, and making it real personal, I don't stand for that. So it's good up to an extent until it gets personal.
Gotcha. Gunny, what about you, bro? I think Gunny and I might have a little different take on this, but Gunny, what do you think?
I'm good with the. I want it to be fun. I mean, even my own teammates, the Bash brothers, give me a hard time about getting in the way of their own tackles this past weekend. So I just like it to be fun.
Yep, I hear you. Nelson, what about you? You got the last word on this.
Yeah, I think again, when it gets personal, when it gets start, cursing back and forth, and it's not about football anymore, that's when it goes too far. Too many times we've seen in general where it's just blowing up, and then people are saying, F you, see me, you wouldn't be like that behind the keyboard, and that's when you lose the concept of trash talking. It's football, and that will always be part about how teams play and performance and whatnot. But when you start getting into those aspects, and then people are cursing at each other, then you're just making the league look bad, and you have to protect the brand that we're trying to grow even more. And if people coming in, fans, and seeing how we interact, and this becomes personal and we're just cursing and it's nothing to do with football, then it really makes us look bad as a whole league in general. And I think, again, trash talk is great to a certain extent, but once you start seeing that, it becomes distasteful. And Ashley has had situations where she had to mediate people to kind of take that away from, hey, it's football. Don't take it into the person himself or one specific person. Like, you just got to keep it based on the teams themselves.
Yep, absolutely. Dwayne, thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Well, I think that everything everybody said was great. What I feel on trash talk is that if you're saying things in the general chat or in the channels, and it's stuff in the off season about saying how putting down a team or putting down a player or putting down leagues or a group of people in the league, that to me, that isn't even trash talk. That's just being negative, and that sort of negative kind of reactionary type of stuff, that the SFL is a little bit better than like some of the other internet communities. So I feel trash talk should really kind of stay in the build up and the aftermath of the game, but you don't want to cross those lines of making it personal or talking about people's family members or cursing at people, things of that nature. There's ways you can talk a little bit as a player and like not say anything disrespectful. I remember when I was playing cornerback for Queen City, whenever I'd tackle a running back for a loss, I'd say something like, hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. How's the family? I'd say stuff like that in chat. It's a little bit of like nicking at people. And I've seen some stuff where, people will talk about people's logos or, inside jokes kind of stuff. That stuff I think is fine. But when you start sometimes I think people kind of don't realize that people have a whole other side of themselves and a whole other life outside of the SFL. And if you're like talking about a bunch of stuff on someone personally because because of what your feelings are about them within the SFL, that's kind of misplaced, and that shouldn't even be part of what's going on in the chats. That's not trash talking. That's just kind of being a jerk.
Yeah. Hey, Eagle, are you back? I saw that you put something in the chat. I'll give you the last word on this real quick. Actually,
yeah, I'm here.
Eddie Gage, if you're listening, I saw your message. If you want to call into the green room real quick, I can let you talk real quick before we sign off after Eagle does. Go ahead, Eagle.
Yeah, no, I'm just, sorry I missed the question, but I'm just going to go off of what I've heard the last couple. I feel with the trash talk, there is a certain place for it. I do feel that some veterans in the SFLM or the SFL general chat turn off potential rookies or fans to the league because they rip apart them.
Hold on, Eagle. Hey, Eddie, you've got your thing on in the background.
I'm muted
right.
it.
Eagle, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just going back. It's, there's some rookie, you don't know if this rookie is 15 years old, 85 years old. You don't know if he's got some sort of disability, and you've got veterans just ripping the guy apart. Right. It's tough, and I do feel the league needs some sort of age verification process. But again, there is a room for trash talk, and there is a line, and I feel the line is crossed a lot.
Okay, I agree with you. Eddie Gage, last word on this, bro.
I think a lot of people made a lot of great comments about this. I'm glad that Dwayne brought it up. One thing I would like to add to that is it always amazes me how much people trash talk. I'm a fan of trash talking. I don't mind it at all. I don't do much of it, but I can take as much as the next man. So it doesn't really bother me. It's part of sport. I've been in sports all my life. So it doesn't bother me. But one thing that bothers me about esport trash talking is that you'll see people trash talking folks, because they dropped a pass that would have won a game or, dropped an interception or something. And it kills me because people forget it's not them out there catching it or dropping these passes. All they do every week is progress and hope that coach puts in a great game plan. Or they'll say, oh, man, I held you down to one catch for 8 yards. Yes, in the simulation league, dude.
Right,
I don't
right.
mind. I don't mind the trash talk, but
With a player you have absolutely no control over. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that stuff just cracks me up. So
No, I get it. Speaking of trash talk, real quick, I meant to mention this earlier with Doyle on here. Doyle, what's the bet this weekend? We just want to go straight up, and when we do the profile pick like I won last week against Ethan Kai, or what do you want to do?
Straight up profile pick. Also, can I chime in on the discussion?
Yep, yep, and this will be the final last word.
Yeah. Okay. So what Mandavi said about driving certain rookies away, even the younger ones, but usually it's not even that. It's just because the younger ones are more active and way more chaotic than anyone. And it's I know at least 2 or 3 people that have almost just left right before they got drafted or right before they got signed, and then actually had fun once they got signed. But it definitely can get toxic for those people. Even if they deserve it or if they don't deserve it, there's definitely a cap people can hit of they can't take.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I thought I saw somebody in here in the chat asking about age verification. Chris Lee, does the league need age verification? Isn't the league supposed to be family friendly? Well, the bottom line is, Chris, family friendly has different definitions, I think, depending on who your family is. And if you've seen some of the stuff that goes on in the general chat and things that have been said to each other and words that have been dropped and stuff like that, sometimes it gets a little less than family friendly. So I personally think there should be some sort of verification process. That's something that the league would need to, initiate. But I have lots of other reasons other than just age verification for that, and we can talk about that on another show if possible. In the meantime, let me wrap this shindig up. Thank you to everybody listening. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Appreciate all the support of the show. Thank you to the Sim Scouts Inc. guys, Chad Rowland, Thomas Smith, and Frank the Franchise Wade. Thank you to my producers, Geralt Winkler and Eagle Mondavi. Thank you to Gunny and his Pearls of Wisdom. As always, thank you to special guest, Nelson. Are you still on here, Nelson? Oh, yeah, there you are. Nelson, you got to chime in on this, right? I didn't want to go over you, but Nelson Lazono is our special guest tonight. So, Nelson, thank you for being on the show. And then thanks to Doyle and Dwayne and Eddie for coming on the After Dark portion. And most of all, thank you to our Diva of the Week winner and special first time ever singer on the Access Live show, AJ. Thanks for being here. With that being said, I want all of you to have a glorious night. I will see you at the tees. And Eddie Gage, what do you got?
Arizona, I love y'all. Thanks for coming. Good night. Drive home safely.
We out.